Hey, thanks for watching. Today we're joined by Joe Hitzel, the president of Southwest Architectural Builders, and we're going to talk about managing project and working with contractors. I'm Josh Farley, president of Redline Electric and Solar. Join me as we talk to contractors, business owners, and experts who are willing to share their experiences to help you overcome obstacles when you're taking your business up and to the right. Joe, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Josh.
So tell us what you do and who you do it for.
We're a commercial general contractor working exclusively in Phoenix. We specialize in tenant improvements, or known as shortly as TIs, and commercial remodels. We also do new buildings out of the ground, but they're much easier than TIs and remodels. Our specialty is really occupied remodels.
Gotcha.
So we'll work on the 3rd and 5th floor of a high-rise, for example, at 24th and Camelback and 1 North Central or something like that. So commercial general contractor.
Gotcha. You also have your residential license, I see. You're building a home.
We have a residential license, and in 20 years, we've built 1 home. No, 2 homes.
Just in case.
It's not what we focus on.
Awesome. Tell us how you got started. What made you start your own business?
I've been pretty fortunate. I came through the ASU's construction program,
okay.
And for all intents and purposes, I've worked for 4 companies, all here in the Valley, and I was very fortunate. I just was blessed and had a great time in every one of them. The last time I was an employer, had the good fortune. We grew the company from around 17 million to about 56 million.
Wow. And
I was interested in some ownership of the company, and the owner was not interested in sharing any of that ownership with the growth. And I enjoyed what we do, and I would say with his good blessings, he promoted me from a VP of a division to VP of operations to president, and I was making a lot of the tougher decisions as president, and yet without any ownership.
Right.
And it was time.
Gotcha.
And so I actually moved from that business to a competitor, which is Southwest Architectural Builders, or SAB for short, and on my first day, everybody booed because I came from a competitor, but we've had a good time, and it's just an awesome organization, and we all love what we do.
So how did you came in as a team member to join a team, and now you're the owner. How did that happen?
Within the commercial industry, tenant improvement is a little bit of a specialized niche in the Valley, and we all know each other. We're all peers, competitors, friends at some level. And so when I moved, a mutual friend gave me a heads up that the former owner of Southwest Architectural Builders was looking to retire.
Gotcha.
And so I met with him, about as short as we've spoken here, and he said he was 58, he was tired, and he wanted out, and asked if I wanted any part of running the business, and I said, so far, sounds great, let's keep talking. I ran his business for 1 year as a 1099 employee, just making sure that it was a good fit.
Right.
And I bought the business in January 1 of 2005.
Nice.
And it provided kind of a win-win, because it allowed us to wind down his business and collect all his receivables, yep, while we wound up what I refer to now as, or previously as, new SAB.
Right.
And I had the good fortune of that. Larry and I had a very similar personality, and so the culture was so important to Larry as well as to me. And when I speak of culture, I speak fondly of my previous 4 employers and how much fun I had working for them, and I wanted to make sure that that was part of who SAB was.
Gotcha.
And it's been great. We're just in January of 2018, but I bought the business again in January of 2005. 13 years, and I have employees that have been with us for 27 and 28 years in construction, which is a very, very transient industry.
For sure.
There's a lot of turnover in our industry, and one of the things I'm most proud of is our culture and who our team is and what we do.
Well, and speaking of transient, I mean, they don't show up. They don't. I mean, I don't know how many times the phone rings. I had another electrician on the line, and he was supposed to be here. He didn't show up. I mean, it happens all over our.
Yep.
I mean, it puts us ahead. Just showing up, answering the phones, being on time, puts us ahead of our competition.
It does.
So a lot of companies out there have their lead guy and they want to retire, and it's kind of the same situation where I want to sell it to the guy in my company. How long a transition? What was some advice you could give to those people going through the same process you did?
I would say every situation can be different, but I would say that the key things is to find similar personalities within the business so that the culture of the organization doesn't get rocked too substantially.
Gotcha.
With the addition of any new employee, and certainly a new owner, the culture of an organization will change some. My philosophy at SAB is I wanted to make SAB the best place to work. So I really focused on the employees' satisfaction, believing that if I took care of our employees and focused on them, they would take care of our clients, our customers. And it's worked out great.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we find ourselves more marketing towards potential employees and keeping our employees more marketing that way than we do to customer facing.
Yep.
Which helps our team grow and it gives a happy feeling. I mean, it really brings in the right kind of people for our culture. Speaking of when you first started out, what were some of the biggest struggles you had to overcome as a leader, as a business, and what would you do different?
I think the biggest challenge within, I'll say kind of collectively our industry, whether it's electrical or as a general contractor, is having the work come in the door in a consistent fashion so that the work can be managed and manned in a systematic fashion.
Right.
And unfortunately, we often find ourselves reacting to what our customers are looking for. And so in a given year, I'll say the past nearly half dozen years, we've managed in the neighborhood of about 150 projects a year. Last year it was north of that. It will be north of that again this year. And when you watch how our work comes into the door, I think it looks more like someone's cardiac rhythm than a smooth, consistent flow. And the challenge is managing that in a way that the customer maintains the confidence that they're being taken care of while you're at a very busy spot or remaining calm when you got people without a home to work on.
Right.
So
trying to manage the peaks and valleys.
Try to take them off.
We call it feast or famine.
Yep, ebb and flow. Yep.
Right, for sure.
My wife jokes with me, I'm always one job away from panicking on hiring a new person, or one job away from having to ask someone to take vacation.
So what do you try to put in place to keep that from happening, or how do you attain new clients?
Some of the things that we put in place are some continuing education, OSHA safety classes, continuing education for example, Microsoft Project.
Yep.
Other programs such as Bluebeam allows.
I've never heard of that one.
Bluebeam's a software takeoff program that works over in an overlay fashion
Gotcha.
with for example, Adobe, and so you can do a bit more accurate takeoff. We have one of our employees participating in the Arizona Builders Alliance leadership development program. We have some of our employees in the emerging leadership program with them. So we try also to support the education side with that as well.
So your business is unique because you're a contractor, but you work with a ton of other contractors underneath your project management.
Yes.
So that being said, what are the best traits that you see for contractors versus the worst traits that you've seen?
It's communication and consistency. We see all of our subcontractors as an extension of our work, Southwest Architectural Builders or SAB. We have the privilege of putting our name on your work.
Right.
As an electrician,
I like how you say,
we're putting our name on your work.
For sure.
And so we work hard to maintain a high standard on the work that we deliver. Because if we have an electrician or a drywaller that does a terrible job, our name's on that work.
Right.
Just as if it was great work.
Right.
And so that level of quality that we strive for from our subcontractors is paramount. And I would say that's maintained through primarily, I would say, 3 strategies. We do an enormous amount of work. We're very fortunate. We do a lot of repeat work with repeat clients. And in that fashion, we work with clients that generally pay quickly, so that we can pay our subs quickly. And I don't really know of anything that lubricates our construction industry better than quick pay. And yet we also don't beat an owner up about the head and shoulders if they're a week late on payment.
Right.
Because it's more of a long-term relationship.
Of course.
And then the other thing that I think that our subcontractors really appreciate is how we schedule our jobs. It is very important that as we work with any subcontractor, that we help them to be profitable on our job. I always believe in the win-win philosophy, and the more successful you can be on our projects, the more interested you are in bidding our next job.
Right.
And if we need to ask you to tighten your number, sharpen your pencil, be a little bit more competitive, you can look in your track record and say, wow, they've really scheduled the job well, my jobs go well, the costs come under, and you may be more interested in giving us a more competitive number than our competitors.
Gotcha.
And then I would say the last thing, the third item, which is, I'll say, overarching, is our relationship that we have with our owners, with our architects, with our subcontractors, with the city inspectors. It is, in this world, all about relationships. And the better that we can work with everybody and find that win-win, the better everybody's going to win. And so we don't like to work with owners that are slow pay, because that really puts subcontractors at a financial disadvantage. And we also like to have our subcontractors very efficient on our jobs. And that takes very good superintendents that can schedule a job, communicate. Right. They'll sometimes give you a call 3 weeks before you arrive, 2 weeks before you arrive, the week before you arrive, 3 days before you arrive. You're going to be here tomorrow?
Right.
We're counting on you to be here the day we call you.
Right. No, communication is key. Having the cash flow, so prompt payment is also very important in a business that the majority of the costs go to labor, you know, to the workmen, the workmanship's being done. What are your plans for the future with SAB?
I have always had a vision that SAB would operate between $25 and $40 million. I never have had a desire for it to be one of the Valley's biggest contractors. I really want to find that niche where we work with really outstanding owners that respect and appreciate what we do. We have the good fortune, we negotiate a fair amount of our work. Depending on the economy, it ebb and flows.
What do you mean by negotiate?
They'll give us a set of drawings and ask us for a price, and we'll provide them a price, and we'll work through the documents, assisting on, I'll say, a constructability, offering value engineering.
Gotcha.
And essentially pick up the permits and start, and we've never really bid against another contractor.
Gotcha. So that vision of 20 to 40 million, are you there?
Last year we did 32.
Gotcha.
I believe this year we'll flirt in the 30, 35 range. Again, the economy is healthy. Phoenix is kind of booming again, so I think that's all good. And I want to live in that area that I don't want to grow beyond what brings me a personal joy and a reward in my life, and that is having relationships, individual and personal relationships, with our subcontractors, our employees, our project managers. Just yesterday I had lunch with one of our superintendents just to say what a great job he did on a job. I spend a lot of time with our clients. I want to know our clients. I want them to know me.
Gotcha. So, you don't want to be that unknown lurking power in the corner office somewhere?
I never want to live in the ivory tower.
Counting your coins?
That's not me.
Right, got it. So you ever get sick of owning your own business? Do you ever think about quitting?
I do think about it, because it's important that, I guess, I was provided an opportunity. I'll almost say a gift. I was blessed with what Larry provided for me, and I would like to see SAB continue, not only for what I've been able to contribute and allow SAB to be, but to honor what Larry and Lisa did for SAB.
Gotcha.
And it's maybe about creating a legacy, but the legacy isn't about me. And the legacy is for all the people that we've been able to touch, or the people that have touched us.
Right. If you were to do something else, what would it be?
I always said I wanted to fly an F-14 at Mach 2. And
be a pilot.
Be a pilot.
All right.
I grew up in an aviation family, and I was very fortunate. I was very, very fortunate. My dad grew up in the Vietnam era, and we were blessed that he was never called to serve over there, but he was an instructor here in the U.S.
Oh, he served?
Yes, he did, in the Air Force. Yes, sir.
Somebody's got to teach him how to do it.
Yep.
Yep. I'm still learning everything I do, so trust me.
You always got to be learning.
Right. Words of wisdom for the contractors just starting out. I just got my license. I just quit my,
I would say paramount to that, and I'm going to come back to your question, but paramount, I think that it's important that we all do something that we love to do. Find what your passion is and find a way to contribute to society in a way that you are working around and within your passion. I think that that is paramount. To those who have enjoyed what they did in our construction industry, I started wearing, as a carpenter, tool bags.
Yep.
I did roofing, siding, framing, concrete formwork framing, and for contractors, the biggest step is putting away the tool bags and stepping in as a business owner.
Right.
And starting to understand how the business operates from the financial perspective, understanding what the insurance, workman's comp, what the banks are looking for, what the ratios are that the banking and sureties are going to look for. Right. And no longer really seeing yourself as a carpenter that wore the tool bags or an electrician, but you're now a business owner. And you need to look at what work is within your niche and that you can excel at. And I also think that it's very important to just do right and take the high road.
Totally.
There is more than enough work out there, and I think that we will be successful in the relationships we build and build those doing the right thing and encourage that within the culture of your organization and your vision and your purpose.
When you start in your trade, you got to learn your trade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
yep, absolutely.
You're constantly learning that trade. It's evolving as technology, as things move. But when you take the step to become a business owner, you have to learn that.
Yes.
And then it's a whole other level. You have to keep developing that business owner mentality to make sure you provide opportunity for your customers, for your employees, for your family.
Yep.
So
it's really helping your employees grow and take the joy and the pride in seeing their growth and their success.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Joe, tell us how our viewers can get a hold of you.
Our website is www.sab-arizona.com, sab-arizona.com, or you can email me directly at Joe, Hitzel, Hitzel, at sab-arizona.com. And our phone number is 602-235-9200. My extension is 211. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Josh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing here, subscribe to our podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to see more episodes. Go to upandtothe right.org to get all the links.